Right now, I'm here in front of the newly reconstructed Rights Union, and I'm going to get some interviews with potential customers for Cyclops. So let's get started. So if you could just tell me your name, and do you bike around campus or around Gainesville at all?
Sure. My name is Caroline, and I do bike around campus a little bit, not too often, but I do use my bike on campus.
Okay, and have you noticed any sort of negative or positive things about biking around campus or Gainesville?
I think the biggest thing is that a lot of the streets don't have bike lanes. So the street that I primarily bike on, it doesn't have a bike lane. So sometimes I'm a little concerned if the cars will see me, especially at night, because they might not even be aware that there are bike riders there.
True. And do you think that there's any sort of technologies or innovations that can be created to help relieve some of the dangers of biking?
I think bike lanes are very simple, but I think that could definitely help if there was some way of making them reflective, just like the way that, like on streets, how it's reflective in the middle. If we could have that on bike lanes so that when the lights from the cars shine on them, even if there's not a bike rider in the lane, that people are aware that there could be a bike rider there.
Okay, and have you ever used any sort of apps or phone apps to help navigate around campus or Gainesville just specifically for biking?
I personally have not, so I don't have any experience with that.
Okay, and if there was an app, say for example, that you could use to, find the safest or quickest routes around campus, would you use it?
I think I would definitely use it if it involved an extended ride. I only ride like 5 to 10 minutes, and there's only one way of getting there. So for that route specifically, I don't think I would necessarily need that. But if it involved a further distance and how to get there most efficiently, especially if it would show me what was safest in regards of where there's the least cars and such things like that, I think I would utilize it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Could just tell me your names real quick and if you bike around campus or around Gainesville at all.
My name is Angelica, and I do not bike around campus.
My name is Marita, and I don't either.
Okay, and even though you guys don't bike around campus, do you notice any positive or negative things while you're observing other bikers on campus?
Some negative things is that sometimes I see a lot of bikers just go really quickly, especially like on intersections and stuff like that. And I sometimes feel like they're gonna be hit by a bus because sometimes they try to get in front of the buses or get in front of the cars, and that's like really dangerous. The other day I saw one like really being like really close, being hit by a bus, and I got so scared for them. Yeah, it was really scary.
I feel like they're gonna hit me, especially through Turlington, where it's like everybody's like walking and they're trying to get through that crowd really fast. It's kind of scary.
And do you think that there could be any possible innovations or technologies that could be created to help specifically bikers on campus or even just around Gainesville to, relieve the dangers and become more safe bikers?
I think more bike lanes and more laws for like bikers wearing helmets, because I think that's really important and it's not like emphasized enough.
And Mia?
I also think they should make more bike lanes. Yeah.
And do you think that if there was some sort of, like, say, for example, you were a biker and you needed to become a safer biker, if there was an app created to help differentiate between more dangerous routes and safer, quicker routes, would you use it?
Definitely, yeah, I would.
I feel like I would forget, honestly, but maybe.
Well, what if, for example, there was such a thing created as, like, you know how when you go in a car and there's, like, a mount in your car to use, like, your phone as a GPS? Do you think putting one of those on a bike would be potentially more dangerous? Or if it was used as a GPS in front of you, it could be kind of useful?
Like for bikers? I feel like it would distract them, honestly.
I think so too, especially because I don't think that they would only use it for that reason. I think that they would also check like messages that pop up and stuff like that.
Okay,
So
that's a good point. And what if there was some sort of, after a certain type of speed that you're going, you couldn't open any other apps or anything like that, or open any other screen?
maybe, but I still think it would be a little bit of a distraction. But I think if it had that, it would be better.
Yeah, I agree too.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So just do me a favor and tell me your name and if you have ever biked or experienced biking around here on campus or in Gainesville.
Okay, my name's Philip Giangrasso, and I bike around campus pretty often. Not too much around Gainesville, though.
Okay, and what kind of things did you notice or observe about biking on campus when you did bike and now that you don't bike?
When I was biking, I noticed like there were a lot of pathways for bikers, but it kind of seems like bikers still going like on the sidewalks and stuff, which kind of pisses a lot of people off because they're trying to get to class and they separate like the bike lanes and stuff for a reason. As I mean, right now, I think biking almost isn't necessary if you just get up at a certain time, because you have that time to like leisurely walk or wherever you need to go. Yeah.
Do you think there's any sort of technologies or innovations that can be created to relieve the dangers of biking around campus specifically?
By dangers, what do you mean? Like just like accidents and such?
Accidents, being hit by a car or bus, or hitting a pedestrian, or having pedestrians come in front of you, something like that.
I'm sure there's some sort of technologies. Like the first thing that comes to my mind is I fell last semester. I was going across a crosswalk. I'm sorry, and this guy was coming out on another bike, and I was trying to get on the inside of him, and it ended up being where he was also trying to get on the inside, so we were both going the same way, and because of that, like I kind of like went down and I fell and the bike hit me. I think as far as like technologies, I mean for a bike it sounds silly, but like a directional signal or just using your hands, honestly, like it's not like a new sort of invention of technology, but just like making people aware of like hand signals and stuff could actually like stop accidents and such.
Okay. And do you think having a horn on the bike or anything like that would be helpful, like just to make people aware that you're present?
Yeah, I do actually. I mean, maybe not an obnoxious horn, but just something to like hey, you're aware. I mean, even if you like just said something out loud, it was like, hey, I'm on your right, I'm on your left. That can also help too, and like substitution of a horn.
Okay. And what if there was an app created to help differentiate dangerous routes from safer routes? Would you use that while biking at all?
I think I'd definitely look at it. I mean, it's something interesting. I never thought about that, like an app to, I don't know, it's almost like a car accident sort of thing, except for bikes. That'd be interesting, yeah.
Okay. And say, for example, this app had an option or a button on it that, had like kind of a horn. So if you were able to, you could press that horn, like the button on the app, and make somebody aware that you were present around them.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I mean, as far as like the app goes, I think it'd be like helpful as far as like a feature, but if someone doesn't have like a mount for their phone, that could actually be just more distracting than actually helpful.
And actually getting to that, this is an idea in the works right now. We actually have created a mount that goes on the front of the bike to kind of create it like a GPS, like when you put it in your car and stuff like that. So it's not really like you're pulling your phone out, oh, which direction do I go in? It's kind of like on the front of the bike in front of you, so you can kind of see it. Do you think that would become more of a distraction, or do you think that would be helpful if you couldn't open any other apps or do anything else on your phone at that time?
I think that's hard to say, because some people have like certain tendencies to like memorize things clearer, so they can memorize like a pathway and they'd be fine, and they can just have it there to like glance at, and other people like might just be like constantly staring at it. I think it'd probably be more of a distraction than anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time. Thank you. If you could just tell me your name and tell me whether or not you've biked around campus or Gainesville for that matter in any circumstances.
Okay, my name's Imran. I'm a chemical engineer at UF, and I guess when it comes to like experience, like biking on campus, maybe I've done it for like 1 or 2 days, and because I have a car, so I really rather not use a bike.
Okay, and what was your experience in the times you have biked? What did you notice?
Well, like during the day, I guess it's kind of scary because, especially when you're like trying to bike on the road, like you can't trust the other drivers. I personally don't like bike lanes. I think they're not big enough, and it's easy to get hurt.
So you would be an advocate to get more like bike lanes or make bigger bike lanes, correct?
For people who like they don't have a car and they have to like bike on campus, then yeah, because I mean like because I've been driving like a car for like since I was 16, since I got my license, and like I've never been in an accident, but you're pretty much limited to one accident when you're on a bike or a motorcycle. So
Do you think that there's any sort of technology or innovations that could be created to help relieve the dangers of biking around here?
uh, not that I know of. Really, the best way is to like just have better drivers on the streets.
Okay, what
Because it's really dependent on people's motor skills. There's not really any technology that can fix that. So
That's true, but what if, say for example, there was some sort of app created to help differentiate more dangerous routes from safer routes to get to your specific location? What do you think about that?
like safer routes. Well, yeah. I mean, like when you bike on the when you're like that guy over there, like he's just biking on the sidewalk. He's pretty much not in any harm. So yeah, like biking around here, it's fine. It's just the roads that I'm concerned about.
Okay, and so do you think the app would be potentially like as an advantage to bikers, or would it be kind of a distraction? What do you think?
Like I don't know. Like is the app meant to be used like while they're biking or?
Yes, kind of like a GPS for biking, like as if you would have it in a car, like mounted or something like that.
I suppose it would be safe. Of course, they would have to implicate some rules, like they just instilled the no texting and driving thing, so they should do the same for bikers too.
Okay, so like in other words, you couldn't use any sort of other things while using the app,
Like
or
depends on what you like. Obviously, you can't text while you're biking, but if you're like calling someone, like certain things you can do, certain things you definitely shouldn't because it's a distraction.
definitely. And so, what if there was a mount like on the front of the bike to hold up the phone as it was navigating you through the different routes? What do you think about that?
I guess if it's like in front of your face, then it wouldn't be a distraction since your eyes are still on the road, so it wouldn't like keep you like you can still see. So
Yeah, exactly. So, did you have anything other things you noticed about biking that's dangerous or anything like that?
well, it's just a personal recommendation. I don't recommend biking to get around in Gainesville. If you have a car, just use a car.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate this.